The people in this small town are frozen in place by a mysterious force and desperate for someone to come and rescue them. In the coastal town of Galicia, a loud demonic roar can be heard coming from the sea and taking over the entire town. All the people in this town are trapped in a frozen state, capable only of blinking. They cannot speak and communicate only through their inner voices. The animals around them are moving freely, but the people are paralyzed. They are in a miserable state. The demonic roar first started sounding on the same night that the boat of a sailor named Rubio wrecked on the coast. Ever since then, everyone in the village has been paralyzed. Other sailors talk about how they used to deep dive in the sea with Rubio, and they only ever found bodies from previous boat wrecks, and never the monster in the sea that Rubio was looking for. Two women discuss how Rubio was a local hero. He dove into the depths of the sea to recover bodies of dead sailors so that their families could bury them. Another woman talks about Rubio's mother, who is a witch that talks to the dead through mirrors. She says that Rubio's mother is a scary woman, but she still hopes that she gets her son back. A woman frozen in the street says that she can understand the demonic roar. She says the roar is asking for their blood. An old man frozen in a diner says that Rubio was right about the monster in the sea. The moon is the master of the monster, which is why the monster always comes with the tides. However, he adds that Rubio should not have tried to hunt the monster. Now the monster is angry and taking its revenge by paralyzing all of them like this. A man frozen on the highway says he knew something like this would happen the day that the dam built near the town closed. The woman next to him says that she knew something like this would happen the day the dam was built. All the townspeople seem well aware of the legend of the monster in the sea. Rubio's mother recites a spell in her thoughts, calling out to other witches to come and help her son. Rubio's thoughts are heard as he apologizes to his mother and promises to her that he will defeat the monster and free her. People frozen inside the dam wonder how long they'll be frozen like this, and one of them says that it could be 1,000 years for all they know. Next, far up in the mountains, 3 figures are seen moving. They are revealed to be the witches that Rubio's mother called out to for help. The witches spend their first night next to a bonfire in the jungle. They are performing some kind of spell. There are people frozen in the jungle as well. The next morning, the witches start observing the situation. They begin by observing the wreckage of Rubio's boat. Next, they start observing the plant life around the water. A man frozen nearby says that the water is completely poisoned. All the fish in it are dead, and it is a rancid color. Only the monster can stay alive in it. The witches start preparing for some kind of ritual. They cover every single paralyzed person they find with a white sheet. Next, they arrive at a local temple, and one of the witches lays down in what appears to be a grave. It's another ritual. The body of Rubio is lying in the water. His friend sitting nearby says that the sea is the monster. It has been asleep for centuries, and all this town and its people are now the monster's dream. At night, the 3 witches walk around the town, listening to the demonic roar of the monster coming from the sea and washing over the entire town. They still continue to drape every paralyzed person they see with a white sheet. A sailor talks about how he once rescued the body of his brother from the bottom of the sea and found that his guts had been ripped out. He says that yesterday, before Rubio went to hunt the monster, he warned Rubio that the sea is the devil, but Rubio wouldn't listen. The sailor's friend says that this wasn't yesterday. It was 100 years ago, and it will also be 1,000 years from now. Whatever is happening has warped their sense of time. As the witches continue to drape all the frozen people with white sheets, one old man sitting in his bedroom talks about how his breath is getting fainter and fainter. He says that the entire town is now stuck breathing at the pace of the monster's breath, and the monster's breath comes and goes with the tide. One man who is frozen in front of a mirror says that this is not the first time that this is happening. The monster is awakened by the red moon every time, and he has heard its poisonous roar before. The last time he escaped by reaching into a mirror, and he can do it again, if he can just bear this for a little while more. 2 men are frozen on the rocks by the sea, and one says that he can no longer feel distinct things or times. It's all collided together. He doesn't know how long he has been here. He feels as if it's always been this day, since forever. Another man, frozen by the docks, says that the monster swallows corpses, and that is why it's been drawn to this town. The boats that kept wrecking by the rocks and leaving bodies at the bottom of the sea gave the monster a meal. That is why the bodies of many people involved in boat wrecks have never been found. One man says that they are now prisoners in their own bodies, and the roar that is heard every night is slowly taking their lives out of them. The monster is slowly devouring them. A man frozen by the window of his house says that all of this cannot possibly be real. It is a dream, the dream of a sleeping sea. An old man frozen on his dining chair comments that all of this is so peaceful and yet so horrific at the same time. Rubio's voice is heard once again. He speaks to his friend Andres. He says the monster is after their blood and it will not stop until it has what it wants. He adds that he needs a body to attack the monster. He asks Andres to warn the witches if he can. He begs Andres to help him, but Andres is stuck being paralyzed himself. One of the witches ties some kind of ornaments and a bell around the neck of a cow and sets it free, while the rest continue to put white sheets on the paralyzed. The man frozen in front of the mirror has managed to move a little over the course of many days. He is now touching the mirror. At night, the witches stand in front of a fire and watch the moon rise. Narration reveals that the blood of the people under the sheets boiled as the eye of the monster rose in the sky. Next, one of the witches arrives at the rocks by the sea and observes a rock that looks like a wave which has been solidified. Another witch goes to see Rubio's mother. The third witch goes through Rubio's mother's things and finds pictures and drawings of giant monsters which live in the sea and wreck ships and eat men. She also finds a picture of Rubio. Rubio's friend who is near him says that the monster is the moon and it devours time. He begs Rubio to come out of the water. One of the witches pulls Rubio's body out of the water. That very night, the roar of the monster is heard louder than ever, and the monster returns close to the surface of the water. The witch performs a ritual with Rubio's body. She pours a strange white liquid into the water and points a mirror at Rubio's face. She then proceeds to point the mirror directly toward the moon. Narration reveals that that night, the paralyzed people saw their own blood being fed to the moon, and later, Rubio woke up. Next, the moon turns blood red, and the entire scene of Galicia turns red along with it. The cow with the ornaments around its neck walks through the jungle toward the local graveyard. Next, Rubio opens his eyes and stands up. He picks up one of the dead fish in the water that the witch poured the white liquid in earlier. He eats the fish raw. He walks around town and observes all the people with the white sheets draped on them. He slowly makes his way toward the dam. Rubio enters the dam, walks past all the people covered under white sheets, and proceeds to open all of its floodgates. The water from the reservoir behind the dam flows out into open sea, and as it does, somehow, the effect of the monster's roar is broken, and all the people under white sheets are freed from their paralyzed state. The people are seen walking out of town in small groups. For some reason, they have not taken off the white sheets. As they reach one particular road, they start glowing brightly. Rubio stands on the rocks near the sea and observes the blood moon. He has fulfilled the promise he made to his mother and freed her. He has saved the people of his town from the monster. He is the hero that everyone described him to be. The monster is seen swimming close to the surface of the water. It is a gigantic, spotted, fish-like creature, not too different from the drawings that the witches found in Rubio's mother's home. The monster looks up at the red moon and lets out a few final roars directly towards it. The end. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Also, let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.